Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to do a review on the JetBoil ZIP. So let's get started. So first off, you'll see it's the JetBoil. This bottom piece right here is made out of plastic and it comes off. Then this material, and actually we'll do that. That's a little bit better lighting. The material that's on the outside is made of kind of like a wetsuit material, so it can get wet and it'll dry really fast. Focus. There we go. Then you have this little handle. It has some warning. It says outdoor use only, mainly because the flame gets really hot on the butane because it boils really fast. It's fantastic, and I'll show you guys. Then around over here, you can kind of see that little bump right there. It's a little pocket, or not a pocket, a hole for like a belt, so you put on your hip, backpacking or whatever it may be. Alright, then on top you have the lid. Lid comes off, obviously. There's a hole here that's for the French press, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Here's a vent hole, and there's a hole that you can drink from. There's a little hole right there on the top piece that you pull up on. And what you can do is you can put a string through that if you're worried about the heat, and when you put it on there you can just grab the string and pull it up and it'll lift off if you're holding this and you have two hands. So I'll set that right aside. These two little pieces here, these screw together, and these make the main part of the French press, or half the part. Then this comes out. This is a little protector. These pieces fold outwards like so, and it's a little bit trickier with one hand. Again, bear with me. So and I'll show you how to use that in a second. Then next piece is the actual fuel. It's a let's see if we can see that right there. There it is. It's a isobutane propane mix. So it's I guess butane and propane. They make a bigger can, and then they have this can, and I don't know if they have any other sizes than that. I don't know what the thread size is. If anybody does know what the thread size is, I think it's a standard thread size for these smaller containers. Comment for me, thank you. Then the next piece is the actual burner, and my camera is not liking to focus right now. There we go. The burner, so as you can see, has all those little holes on the bottom. That's where you screw it, and that's the control knob for the fuel. So I'll set that right there. And the second to last piece is this little stand. This is a little tripod for the fuel. And then on the very bottom, let me flip this over, this piece pops right off, and if you have two hands it'll work easier. There we go. Pops right off, and then this is the other piece for the French press. And those are all the pieces. There we go. Now I'm going to put it together and show you guys how to light it up and make some coffee. Just a note, the French press you have to buy separately. It comes in like a little container, and it looks like that. They're just kind of sitting there. It's like on a little wrapper. And then for some reason, when you have this in here, when you try to fit all the pieces of the French press in there, I've tried a bunch of different ways with this combination, and it won't close correctly. Like every time it's like slightly loose. So that's why I put the metal pieces inside with everything else, because it fits better. So another thing, since this is more, I'm trying to do a more in-depth review. Let's see if we can see them. Probably won't be able to. I don't know if you can see it or not. kind of see some lines. Well, you can't really. There's some lines right inside here, and it's a measuring cup. So there's a 4 ounce on the bottom, and then there's an 8 ounce on top, and then to the left there's a 200 milliliter and a 100 milliliter. So you can use it as a measuring cup to get more precise, if you like more precise coffee or whatever else you're cooking. Ramen, I've cooked ramen in these. Also on the inside you can see those grooves better, they're more defined. The top line on the right is a 16 ounce, and then the top line on the left is a 500 milliliter, then a 300 milliliter, and then a 6 ounce. So, and then there's a bunch of different notches, so you can just count them to add more or less water. Alright, and I'm going to take my camera off my wrist and try to get the best possible view. Over there. Alright, so first thing you do is you take your burner and your fuel. Take those and you just screw those on together. Like so. Alright, and make sure that your knob is all the way on 0 essentially. I'll go ahead and put these pieces together for the French press. It just screws on. And then this screws on here. And there's your coffee press. And the hole on the top here is so that you can actually have the rod slide through. You can clip it on top and then push down and make your coffee that way, and then you can pour it easy or however you want to do it. This little green tripod has notches, and on the bottom it has a little beveled edge on the canister. So this actually fits into those, and then it pops into the third spot. So now it stays sturdy and it doesn't really move for wind purposes. And then there's another notch for the bigger canisters. Now, there's 2 different ways how you can use this, and let's make sure, yeah. Alright, so this little piece here is almost like a grill. So you take this, and it sets on top with these little, you can kind of see that line right there, that little line. That fits in to the edge, like so. So then it stays. And now you can use it as like a normal stovetop, so you can put like a pan, cook eggs or whatever you're doing. And then, or you can use the actual JetBoil cup. And if you look, you can see those holes right there, And inside of here, there's little bumps on each side, and it lines up like that. And then you just turn it to lock it in place. You need 2 hands to do it. And they did it smart. Actually, there we go. They did it smart where you're not turning the opposite way, so that when you turn it, it'll still tighten this piece, so you're not unloosening this. I thought that was nice. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. My SD card ran out of memory, so I had to put some more in there. Yeah, it's lukewarm. So, I have my water in there. You can see, water. I have my coffee. I also wanted to do a short review on these storm-proof matches. They're waterproof and windproof. They're from REI. I'm sure you can find off-brand or whatever brand you want. So they come in a package like this. They're folded. This is folded down. They're folded in half. I'll pull one out. Show you a better look at it. So on the top it has almost like a chocolate brown tip. And then this piece is almost like, feels like a dried sponge. I don't know if you can see it or not. No, you can't. Well. Why is it not focusing? Focus. That's better. Alright, so it it has almost like a sponge, like a dried up sponge feel to it. Then you have the wood part. Now when it gets wet, the wood, if the wood is wet, it'll just stop right there. It won't continue to burn. they're really easy to light. I'm gonna get one wet and light it and shake it around and show you. It also comes with these are 2 strikers that are sealed in a plastic. It's like a heat cut wrapper kind of thing. They have a sticky side. There's 2 of them in here, so you can stick it to whatever. If your box gets completely wet, now your box is useless, you know, you can't use the striker anymore, and these are wet, you need to light it, keep warmth or whatever. I haven't tested these in super strong winds because I don't have super strong winds, but I have shaked it before and it works. It won't go out when I shake it. The flame goes out, but it keeps burning, and then when like the wind stops, I'll show you when I shake it. So I just got it wet. I'll let it sit there for a little bit more wetness while I take out my camera off again and set it down. A little bit. There we go. Alright. So it's wet. Strikes. It burns. It's still burning. Turn that on. So I just blew it out. It was almost dead, but that might have been why it blew out so easily. I've never seen it blown out that quickly before. As you can see, when I was shaking it back and forth vigorously, it wasn't going out. And when you put it under water, it will sizzle. Like, I'll put it under that and just douse the whole thing out. It'll sizzle completely, and then there'll be parts of it still burning, and then it catches on fire again. So it's almost like those trick birthday cake candles. So yeah, just thought I'd do a little review on those. So here we go. This is it. I'll put it on full blast. Full blast doesn't really change. It just seems like it's like a waste of fuel. You can put it on to a low. Like, that's a low. You can kind of get it lower, but it's almost like it's dying. So I just put it right where it starts to kind of hear it better. As you can see, the water's already boiling. I don't know how long that was. That was probably like a minute, less than a minute. And now it's boiling a lot. So since it's boiling, I'm gonna shut it off since it's nice and hot. I use this. This is a double brew, or like 2 cups, 2 6-ounce cups of Javalia. I don't know. It's that brand. It tastes yummy. This is a cup from NyQuil or those kinds of things. If you fill it up to this top line, that's like it's 4 tablespoons. So it actually says right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think this says, yeah, 1 tablespoon for 6 ounces. So I'm gonna set this back down so I can get some coffee beans. I'll ground up coffee, I should say, coffee beans. And that is a lot more than 2. And that is 1. A little bit more. And that works. Dropped my camera. Alright, I'm sorry about that. Oh, let's refocus that. Come on now. Don't be a butthole. Sorry about that. My camera like started being stupid. Again, I'm gonna try to splice the videos together best I can. So it's a little bit more than 2 tablespoons. Water nice and hot. Put the coffee in there. I'll let it sit in there and get all saturated and yummy. Yeah. I'll show you this bit. So with the French press, it just screws on and it goes right through that hole on top, and it'll push through like that, and then we can just put that right back in there and screw it back in. Now, for anyone who hasn't used a French press before, they're really easy, except when you fuck up or mess up like I just did. So you have a little mesh net, and I just messed up. It got dipped. So what happens is you have your coffee beans right there, and actually I'm gonna wash this off so it doesn't like get in there and get all coffee beany. So you have your coffee beans at the bottom of the cup, or at the bottom of the JetBoil, at the top. So there's the coffee beans, right, ground up, soaking into the water. Then what you do is you let it seep, let it sit for however long you want to. That all depends on how strong you want your coffee to be. Then what you do is you take this and you press this down, and it's a form-fitting plastic material right there on the edges. Let me get rid of my fingers. Imaginary touching. So it's a snug fit when it goes in. And what happens is you push it down, and the net, the mesh, lets the water come out, but not the beans. So what happens is then you get a, beanless coffee. Now, if you mess up like I did, you're gonna have beans. If you wash it really well and you don't mess up, you still get like really small beans. It kind of depends on how finely you grind it up. This is pre-ground, so it's really ground. If you get your own beans and you grind it yourself, you can do like a medium grind, and that's gonna work better because this is like super powdery. I mean, it's up there with like instant coffee. Instant coffee is gross. So I've been letting this seep for about 3 minutes now. That's whatever. So as you can see, I can push it down. Let's lift that up. So and then I push it down and push it to the bottom until it's firm. And then now I can close this. And if I want to let it sit in there longer, I can. It'll still seep, I guess is the right term. I don't know if that's the right term for coffee. Now the outside of this is a little bit warm. It is insulated, but it's still going to be warm because the JetBoil gets really hot. I don't know what the actual specs are, but when you turn it on, it sounds like a blowtorch. So it's as hot as a blowtorch, and it's like a thin aluminum kind of material. So I'm gonna set this down again, and I'm gonna grab a mug. Use my little 12-ounce Starbucks mug. Yeah. So now we grab the plastic parts, because the plastic parts won't be too hot. And actually the plastic isn't hot at all. Grab it, you just lift it up, set that down. Now I can take this and I can pour it in here. So if you're one of those people when you're camping you like to share, you can make a big brew and share with people, or if you just like drinking out of a cup. It's kind of harder drinking out of the actual JetBoil, just in my opinion, because it's big and it's bulky, and I like, something smaller where it's more of like a cup, where this is more like a thermos. So, yeah, JetBoil. I've made ramen in this. Ramen is super easy. You just break the ramen in half and put the pieces in there and boil it up. The boil is super fast. It's really efficient with the fuel. It doesn't burn through fuel ridiculously. I don't think I have any eggs. I would show you how to use the stovetop piece, but I don't have any eggs. But what I will do is I will show you guys the flame. So right there, that's a really low flame. I can't even hear this thing on. Give it a little bit more. So that's full blast. Well, that's not full blast, but as you can see, I'm still turning the knob up, and it's not really getting more flame or anything. So I just kind of listen to it. Oh, killed it. I mean, you can get it. Whoa, really low. Like that's like as low as it can get, because it's almost dead. Right there is like almost dead. So right there, that's a low, that's a medium, and you got like high, and that's as much as I turn it. I don't turn it really past that. If you can see, that's off. Now that's closed. It doesn't. You don't have to turn it a whole bunch in order for it to get to the highest peak per se. So yeah, that's that. What you can also do if you don't want to carry around a bag of coffee, because I mean carrying around this for like 3 days is kind of stupid. You can put it into plastic baggies, all kinds of stuff. You can put it into the plastic bottom piece, and then put that in there. There's some room, so it'll be a little bit trickier, but you can do it. I've seen people do it before. What I do is I just put it in a plastic bag where I just take this, I just like have coffee, grab it, whatever I'm using normally, throw it in my bag, good to go. These make really awesome things because they're lightweight, they're durable. As you can see, they're durable. They can get kind of squished. And you can use it for measuring coffee, you could use it for measuring all kinds of things. I mean, it has half a tablespoon. Right there's a half tablespoon, 1/2, 2/2. Then there's 1, 2, 3. You also have milliliters. There's 2.5. There's a 0.5, I think. Or that's just 5. That's 2.5. So it's I think these are really nice because it has all different kinds of measuring tools. Awesome for camping. Awesome for camping. Yeah, so that's the JetBoil, and a bonus review of the REI Stormproof, Weatherproof, Waterproof matches. And I say that because it's stormproof, and then you got waterproof, windproof matches. Comes with 25 of them. It comes in a packet with 2. You get 2 of these boxes, so you actually get 50 matches. I don't know how much it cost. I don't remember how much these cost. They're a little bit more on the pricier side. I think it was like $8 for those 2 boxes for 50 matches, but they're really good in my opinion. So I'm sure you could modify these by putting wax on the orange part to make it burn a little bit longer, or put wax on the wooden part. I don't think I have really any complaints for the JetBoil. One issue that I had when I first got it was that you can kind of see that's warm. You can kind of see that black bit right there on the actual inside. What happened when I first used it for the first time, it burnt. So it actually up here is where it burnt because it was on upside down, and that might have been why it happened. But up here, you can kind of see how it's bulging right there. It's because that's the inner part is where there's no more insulation, because the insulation burnt, like melted onto the side of it. That's really my only complaint about it. That, and there's not really any specific place for the French brew, or for the French press. There's not really a specific made spot for it, which kind of bums me out. I really wish that it would fit inside this piece correctly, where I could have both of the poles in there with the actual French press piece. It's not a super big deal. I thought that was the really only flaw in the design, because I mean it's, it has a handle. You can hold it like that if you want to. Pour it. I thought it was smart how they actually had the hole right here for the French press, so you could use it like this. So, it's just, I think this thing's awesome. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was like $50-$60. They come in multiple colors. You got black, I think there's a green, a yellow, a red, blue, orange. I'm sure there's a pink one. There was a pink something. Yeah, it's durable. It's super easy to clean, super easy to use. The butane propane combo canisters, they're not all that expensive. I think it's like $10 for 2 of them, so that's $5 a piece. And I've used this thing on like 5 camping trips. I actually took this with me on the 2013 Jamboree, and it was awesome. I had ramen with me, and because the food there kind of blew. So I had like ramen a bunch of times because ramen's awesome. But yeah, I actually had to throw away mine, it was like, I don't even know how much fuel I had, and it had still probably half, I'd say half fuel, and I had to throw it away because I couldn't take it with me on the plane. And how I got it there was I bought it at a Walmart before, because we flew into like DC, and then we went, and then we drove to the actual Jamboree, and because we had the tour before Jamboree thing. Some people did that, some people didn't. And we stopped at Walmart right before we went, so I like stocked up on junk food, and I got 2 of those, I think. Did I get 2? I think I only got 1. Maybe only 1. I think I got the bigger one. Maybe that's why. That's why it probably lasted longer. It was the bigger one. The one on the outside ones. But still, it's still good on, you know, fuel-wise. You can use it like this, which I think is cool. I have a mess kit that I'll show you guys. It's an old military mess kit. And I've made eggs on this before. By doing it like that, I've made eggs. So if you guys have like a metal mess kit or a pan or something, it works well. If you guys want a review of this or any of my other camping crap, because I have a good some, and this is only 1 bag, I have another bag of crap. Yeah, if you guys want a review of any of my other camping stuff, just message me or leave a thing in the comments. Yeah, please subscribe, like my video if you liked it. Leave critical feedback if there's anything else you guys wanted. I know my camera filming is a little bit suckish. I don't have a tripod because the camera I use now is just a camera that is damage proof, and I just use it whenever I go camping and stuff. So I don't have a tripod for it. If you guys like my videos, and if I get like 1,000 likes or 1,000 subscribes, I'll do another review. Yeah, I don't know. This is my first review, so tell me what you guys think. Critical feedback is the best. Being a douche nugget is not very helpful, and making like waves in the comments for no reason is not also helpful. So critical feedback is the best. Yay, critical feedback. So yeah, just subscribe, like, and tell me what you guys think. Thank you.